Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, Parliament is supposed to elect vice chair and chairpersons of different select committees. And there is one committee that is very integral as far as Kenya Kwanza government is concerned, and that is the Budget and Appropriation Committee. So today, the leader of majority, Kimani Ichung'wah, was asking the members of parliament that they need to fast track the process of coming up with the Budget and Appropriation Committee, because that is the committee that will decide what William Ruto is going to spend as he waits for the next budget. With new government in order, there is a bit of that transformation. The priorities seems to have changed. And of course, one of the things that President William Ruto is depending on is supplementary budget. Everything that was promised at the campaign trail was not budgeted for in the last budget, and Ruto's first budget will be next year after the budget is read. So everything that he wants to do now, he is in a fix, because everything that he have to do outside the budget estimates will have to go through a Budget Appropriation Committee after a supplementary budget is passed. Now there are two issues that are emerging: the Hustler Fund and the Judiciary 3 billion fund that was also promised. It was supposed to be added every year, and according to sources, is that Mother Koome team are also asking the president about the pledge. How is this going to play out? And I have followed Parliament for better part of this week. I see Kenya Kwanza having very weak. I don't see strength in the National Assembly. What they have there is quantity. But in terms of quality, the likes of Koome, the likes of Aden Duale, having been withdrawn from the Parliament, William Ruto is having numbers, but without the quality. And I don't mean that I am trying to underrate members of parliament. But if you look at the way things are, they are not really working well. And the two people that are the eyes of William Ruto in the National Assembly, that is Kimani Ichung'wah and Dede Nyoro. I'm hoping I've pronounced it as it is. And Dede Nyoro has been missing in action. You've not seen the vibrant Nyoro that you could see in the 12th Parliament. And of course, he's more towards like he's calm and seems not to be very vibrant and not really having the zeal as what he had initially. But then, let me tell you how this is a big issue. William Ruto have requested the Treasury CS, the new Treasury CS, and Njuguna, to craft a supplementary budget. And that supplementary budget is supposed to be taken to Parliament before the end of next week, because that supplementary budget is what is going to help the government to redeem its pledges. The Hustler Fund that was promised, and it was never existing in the budget, is actually supposed to come from the supplementary budget. The 3 billion Judiciary Fund is also supposed to come from supplementary budget because it was not budgeted for, if Ruto is supposed to deliver it before. And from the sources, what we've actually gathered is the judiciary is having a lot of budget cuts. Of course, after the narrative of freedom is coming, the judges have also been employed, and there is backlog of cases. I recently spoke with one of ex-detainees from one of the courts I don't want to mention, and he was telling me that the backlog of cases has been strenuous, even for the prison wardens, that they find it difficult because the number seems to be increasing. The cases are not coming. Cases are supposed to end within 6 months. That's what it's supposed to be. But that has not been the situation. And the legacy of Martha Koome is only now depending on solving the problem of backlog of cases. So that is it. She became the first Chief Justice. The 2022 general election gave her a very difficult challenge that, in my understanding, I think she failed the test. But at the end of the day, the legacy of streamlining operations and curbing corruption, some of the vices against government that might hurt government, depends on the kind of money that it needs. And I support that. Even as we think about offering the Hustler Fund, I think the Judiciary Fund needs to be looked into urgently, because there is one thing that's going to eat into William Ruto's cabinet. So this, what normally happens, and I think people maybe need to get an understanding of what supplementary budget is, different departments within ministries and even different ministries and government agencies can normally request funds, more funds from the Treasury, apart from what is budgeted for. And when they request these funds, Treasury cannot release the funds. So Treasury must then prepare supplementary budget, and then it's taken to the Parliament when it's approved. And of course, the Budget and Appropriation Committee in Parliament can only approve, they can reject, and they can even edit and redirect the funds. So this committee is very critical. And the blow, according to really my understanding so far, is that Dede Nyoro has declined to be a member. It is not going to be a member. So Kimani Ichung'wah most likely is going to work with the other greenhorns in Parliament. And of course, Azimio is very strong on this. And we're going to look at how it's going to work out. Because of a dependence, between now, I wish we should have elections before a budget. In fact, we should bring our elections to somewhere February or March, so that government works on transition, but get a bit of transition for some few months. Then when you come up the budget, then you can include your agenda. Now, imagine from this September to next year, June, what every other new development that government wants to bring in the fold, you will have to run for supplementary budget. Now, this money doesn't come from anywhere. It actually comes from the consolidated fund. Consolidated fund is where government money is. Taxes, grants, what government collects, government revenue is in the consolidated fund. So that's different with equalization, because equalization is affirmative action funds. Places maybe drought or so, to just level different, maybe mainstreaming the development. So the Ministry of Cooperatives, SMEs have been tasked to request for more funds from the Treasury, prompting that. And Martha Koome is also asking for the Judiciary Fund. Now, the new ministries aligned with the Hustler agenda are also in office, and I see the kind of what we expect is they are going to request for more funds, and that's where the problem is, because we have also said we don't have the money. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Thank you very much for those who've been supporting me, supporting this channel. in different ways, I want to say asanteni sana. We do this each and every day because of you and because of your support. And today I want to say, may God bless your territory. Now, may God expand your territory. This is the truth, guys. Kenyans may have to endure heavy taxation. Heavy, and I'm saying heavy taxation. If you think I'm making just a statement from making a roadside declaration, then just go and find out how much you're paying for the tokens. For the token. Silently, it shot up. Before you know, government might have to tax some really basic commodities, like things like sugar, and of course the household, the ones that are heavily are mostly consumed by the household economy, so by different households. So the heavy taxation, when I'm talking about heavy taxation, is there is a demand. You know, as we take that money from the consolidated fund, it's also going down. And for you to balance, because for you to know what exactly you're receiving, remember Ukuri Atani was actually saying that someone should not say that the treasury is dry, because government money is not kept, is not collected and kept. It's actually collected and spent. So as we spend, we remove money from the consolidated fund, we also need to continue collecting more there. And it means, and what I can say is that we are in a very negative trajectory, because even after talking about not going capital intensive, Ruto has launched now, I think, 2 projects. I think now he's going to launch the 3rd one on affordable housing. The one in Kibera and Mukuru Konjenga, I think, was targeting the slums, which is, of course, a good strategy. Those projects are capital intensive. So we're still going to spend. We have populist campaign pledges like Hustler Fund, that if you ask me, 3 months on operationalization of that fund, taking 3 months is overambitious. I think the hustlers would have given the chief hustler some time so that it can be rolled even somewhere next year. In fact, next financial year, if you ask me. I don't think it's urgent, as you remove people from, is it CRB? I don't know. It's called CRB or HELP. Yes, CRB. And so it's going to be a little bit tough. Now, when you give people money, there is an enemy that creeps in, and that enemy is called corruption. I'm waiting and looking at how Ruto is going to work with it. And that's why I urge, when you release Hustler Fund, release the billions to the judiciary, so that your money that is intended for the common man can be protected from the predators. Because people will start building plots and estates with that Hustler Fund. As you release Hustler Fund, sort out the judiciary, so that pesa yako mtu akiiba hivi shiko and things move on. Now, review the hustler agenda. That might be on the fold, because our budget is going to be a little bit strained. And if we give the Hustler Fund and it resonates well with the needs of the hustler, then any other thing might be put at hold if it needs more funds. And I think the big thing, MPs will even find themselves in a difficult thing to address, and even the new cabinet, is how to communicate and messaging in public. There's going to be a lot of crisis because of unmet expectations. Ruto might get everything else wrong, but what he will not get wrong is how to defend a problem. He will defend it. He will defend it. That's my point.